Carl. Good to chat with you guys. And absolutely a big launch both for Astra, but as well for the broader space race that's happening right now and really coming into its own. Astra, for its launch just over the weekend, achieved orbit for the very first time. And this came after a string of launches that came close or reached space, but didn't quite make it all the way to orbit, which is what customers putting satellites on these rockets are really intending and really aiming to achieve. So this moves Astra out of its test campaign and into a truly commercial and operational capacity. Now, this is a company that wants to use these very small rockets. They're about 40 feet tall. And if you compare them to SpaceX's Falcon 9 rockets, in terms of maybe an aircraft comparison, which SpaceX's rockets might be the jumbo jets, whereas these are the Cessnas. They're quick and cheap and easy to build and much, much smaller and can carry less payload to orbit. But for Astra, on a meaningful basis, this launch represents it becoming just the fourth U.S. company to privately fund and develop a rocket that has reached orbit. They're joining a small group of companies, SpaceX, Virgin Orbit, and Rocket Lab, that have all achieved this feat. So a really, really big step forward in the company's overall goals.
So, Michael, what's next for Astra?
For Astra, it's about two things. Building up its launch cadence is what we call it in the industry, or how quickly it can turn around, produce, and launch rockets. And then secondarily, improving the overall capabilities of its vehicles. Now, Astra's CEO told me this morning that they have about 50 kilograms of payload they can launch with the current variation of their Rocket 3.3, but they're trying to improve that and eventually get to a Rocket 4.0 and beyond to carry even more payload to orbit. Now, even at a larger payload size, say 500 kilograms, that would still be a smaller group of satellites, such as cube satellites. So not launching anything, school bus size or carrying any people to orbit, but this is a very interesting part of the growing small rocket business.
Any other company we should be watching for next?
The main competitor for Astra is Rocket Lab, which already is operational and launching things to orbit. That's in the small rocket space. But coming up, we've got two others in the small and medium size of the market, which are the Firefly Space and Relativity. The latter of the two, which is a really interesting approach, 3D printing their entire rockets and sending them out to the launch pad. So there's a lot of different ways to approach this market, both in size and how people are building them. And we're going to have to see who wins here in the long term.
So much going on. Michael, thank you for joining us. Always good to have you.